Hello everybody, and welcome back to more Silversong. Few things off the top of the session before we get into things. I have been sick today, so this may be a bit of a shorter session, depending on how I'm feeling. But I wanted to stream because it's been a few days off with some session cancellations from some players, so I wanted to make sure that we got a session in today. So maybe a bit shorter, but we're just going to play it by ear. I also did want to mess around with some other things, so I just wanted to do a quick chat poll because I wanted to just test this feature because I've been messing around with it. So you can do the poll while I summarize the session from last time. All right. I'll allow additional votes, but you don't have to waste all your channel points on a poll like this. All right, there we go. Just wanted to mess around with it and see what the options looked like when they popped up. That's all. All right, so a couple things. We had a bunch of new followers in between now and the last stream that we did, so thank you for that, everybody, if you're listening to this. Which means that we kind of are approaching 100 followers, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so last time on Silversong, the party was making their way through the Deep Green Domain, which is a large evergreen forest that blocks them and their destination. They are headed to Silkenshore, which is sort of a town along the coast, and they're headed there because they're looking for some researchers who seem to have disappeared and broke off contact with the woman paying them to look into a mystical lyre that may be able to heal her illness. And so the party have been tasked with finding out where those researchers went. The last lead was in Silkenshore, so they are headed there. And on the previous session, they made their escape from an underground alchemist's lab, which they had sort of stumbled upon and then took a peek around, which resulted in them drawing the ire of the alchemists who were doing some work down there, who weren't too happy about intruders. But after defeating them and grabbing some of the loot, some of the potions in the alchemist's lair, the party made their escape as they had accidentally set a fire, which then resulted in the whole alchemy lab exploding. Continuing south on their path, the party then did another day of traveling, which ended in them finding a little clearing with a rather odd man who seemed to live in the woods. He offered them some food, which turned out to be boar brains and rabbit intestines and grilled squirrel, which the party happily consumed. And most of the party happily consumed. And then he offered them to stay in the clearing for the night if they wished to camp there, which they accepted. And so that was where we left off, with the party camping out in the clearing with Elliot, the man from the woods. And so, that's where we'll return. I believe the last thing that happened was that Ruva was taking first watch and heard Elliot muttering some strange things under his breath in his sleep. But that was about it, so we'll get right back into it.
Ruva's just gonna continue to watch over him as he sleeps.
All right, very well. So he continues. He falls silent occasionally, and just kind of you see him continue to toss and turn, but his speaking in his sleep will die down from time to time. It'll be sort of a whole gap of maybe 5-10 minutes, and then all of a sudden he'll start up again. But again, sometimes he just kind of mutters silently, just moving his lips, but no voice coming out. Occasionally you get a few words here and there, but it all centers around that same sort of concept, referring to a shepherd tending their flock. Eventually, Ruva, your watch is up, and you may do with that information what you wish.
Ruva's gonna walk over to Kaj and kind of be like, "Hey, are you taking second?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that. Kai's just gonna sit up on the log.
All right.
Anything I need to look for? Prove it.
Well, he talks in his sleep.
I just kind of like smile, like, yeah.
I think maybe he was a Monsignor sometime. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on him. Go ahead and get some sleep.
Okay, thank you.
So Ruva makes her way off to get some sleep. As Kaz, you take your watch. Most of your watch is pretty uneventful, but you do also witness Elliot rolling around in his sleep. And you can hear him muttering something under his breath that you're probably a little bit too far away to clearly make out.
Okay, Kai's just gonna like rotate and sit on the other log to see if he can hear anything.
All right. So what you hear is the same as what Ruva heard. That sort of under his breath murmuring that occasionally grows louder and then softer again. The topic is also the same.
Yeah.
But your shift is otherwise uneventful.
Right. And then he'll go and wake up Gail. Her like ruffle his hair. Gail, your turn.
Huh?
Your turn. You good? I kind of like being out here, so he's just gonna curl up next to the log again, fall asleep.
All right, as you drift off, you hear Elliot continue to mutter and murmur. Gail, you see him kind of roll around in the grass. Kosh, can you, as you sort of drift off back to sleep, can you make me a wisdom save? Okay. So Kaj, as you drift off back to sleep, you have nightmares. At first, they just sort of are at the edges. You can't quite even comprehend what you're dreaming about. And then you hear just sort of voices, sort of distant voices, as you sleep. Just sort of a pitch black void with voices throughout. And then off in the distance, you just see an odd, twisted sort of figure, unnaturally thin, and sort of glinting as though it wears full armor. Though, as it sort of walks towards you, you notice that it's not particularly wearing armor. It is almost made of metal. And you feel it sort of draw you in as it approaches. It feels almost sort of comforting in an odd way. But as it does draw near you, you feel those voices begin to intensify as well. And as they intensify, you can start to make out some of the words. And they sort of whisper, the shepherd approaches. As they grow ever stronger. So, as this presence begins to kind of approach you in your sleep, Kaj, do you turn away from it, or do you allow it to draw you in?
But turn away from it.
Very well. Make another wisdom save. All right. So you sort of wrench yourself away from this sort of almost magnetic feeling that you have. Though you feel yourself sort of stick in place as if you can't move. And the feeling sort of intensifies and intensifies as this figure walks closer and closer towards you. You can sort of make out the mask that they wear. It's this sort of bird-shaped mask made of solid metal. And the figure draws nearer and nearer, and at the last moment, you're able to just wrench yourself away from it, and the act of doing so just forces you immediately away. Though, as you wake up and sort of look around the clearing, it is still nighttime and it is still peaceful, but you still feel these just lingering whispers in your head. The effects of whatever you were dreaming about not entirely gone.
Gail, do you hear anything?
Hmm?
Can you hear that?
For what? The wind? I always hear the wind.
Whispers.
Mm,
I was gonna produce flame in his hand and then it's like kind of look outwards.
whereabouts?
I don't know. Everywhere.
Do you want to walk around camp?
So as you're awake for a little bit of time, Kaj, they start to fade away until you're just standing in a completely silent clearing with Gil.
I can't hear them anymore, Gil. I don't know what that was.
Well, advice from me. Maybe you should go ahead and go to it next time.
Go to the whispers.
Yeah, why not? You don't know what they want until you go.
I'll give that a shot next time.
Yeah, we'll be here if you need us.
Thank you, Gil. Sorry, I don't know what that was.
Ah, not the problem. I did the same to you.
I think I was just gonna sit up against the log again.
Very well. So, Gail, your shift passes peacefully, other than that interruption from Kaj. And eventually, you may wake one of the others if you wish to take over.
All right. I don't know which side he's on. Boop. I'm I'll kick Tibber. Oh, okay. Well, all right. Nope, that was right. Kick.
Mm, 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 What?
Time for a watch.
Uh, okay.
Last one. No big deal.
Is Kaj asleep?
Mm, no, he tried to, but he can't.
Oh, what are you doing up? Oh, it's my watch.
I had a bit of a nightmare. I hope.
Oh. About what?
Well, there was this figure made of metal with whispers talking about a shepherd. It's really weird.
A shepherd?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I haven't heard any whispers anymore, but it's kind of hard to get back to sleep like that.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I don't really know what a shepherd is, though. Maybe,
Anyway, so I'm just gonna keep an eye out.
are you, like, are you good about this, like, trip?
The trip?
Yeah, maybe it's, like, you're self-conscious.
I don't know. I
Are
feel a
you
lot
okay
better
with?
when the sun's up, though.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're good with leaving the orphanage, I mean, you're not like you don't have to come,
No,
though.
I think
I'm
I
glad you
do.
are. I mean, we definitely need your help, but I don't want you to like go insane.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. It's been the first time it's happened.
No, I wouldn't overthink it unless it happens again.
I think we're almost out of this forest, right?
God, I hope. Feels like we've been stuck here forever.
I like the trees, but the feeling of safety, it's missed out a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I like the forest as much as the next guy, but not living in it.
This one seems a little bit different.
Yeah, there's an air to it. Oh, try to get to sleep if you can. Otherwise, I mean, I'll be here.
Give it a shot.
All right. Tibber, you take watch for the rest of the night into the early hours of the morning. And Kaj, you sort of attempt to get a bit of sleep, but don't find a ton of success. Tibber, you also witness Elliot here tossing and turning in his sleep. Though his mumblings have kind of grown a little bit quieter as things roll around into the morning. So with the early light of dawn peeking through the gaps in the evergreen trees, Tibber, you are still awake, but you see the others. Kaj probably first arrives because he wasn't sleeping well already. Plus, he's outside the tent, so the light will hit his face first. But the others eventually awaking as well.
Morning.
Hi, morning.
Aren't you a sleeping beauty?
I am pretty, huh?
Yeah, I mean, got nice skin.
Oh, thanks. Must be a human thing.
Probably. Mine's pretty tough and
Ah,
green.
but it's durable, reliable.
Ah, I hope. It's kind of all I have.
Are you feeling any better, guys?
I didn't get that much sleep, but I haven't heard any more whispers, so that's good.
That's pretty good.
Oh, whispers.
Oh, God.
So Elliot too begins to rise, though a little slower than the rest of you. And he kind of stretches and cracks his back. Me back. And then he overhears what you two are talking about and says, "Whispers. Hearing whispers, lad.
Yeah, I had a bit of a nightmare.
You too, eh?
Do you have one too?
Common
Aye.
thing in the forest.
Well, it is for me, but odd to see others also experiencing something like this.
What are
For
yours
your
usually
dreams
like?
about... Oh,
So you both talked at the same time. What were you saying?
What are yours usually like?
Oh, shepherd in a field.
A little bit different than mine. I was gonna look off.
Voices around me. They whisper.
What did yours say?
They talk of things from my past, things from, what I believe to be my future, though it's hard to say. And all manner of things. I try and shut them out, mostly.
I give that a shot too.
Aye, listening to whispers in your head will not do a man any good, in my opinion.
do you hear them often, really?
From time to time, usually in my sleep. Though occasionally, now that you mention it, I do hear voices, though often I assume them to be others in the woods.
I wonder if it's a thing of the forest.
I would be inclined to agree with you, but I've experienced it in my short times outside the forest as well.
Maybe it starts in the forest. I mean, you said you've spent a lot of time here.
I suppose that's possible.
I don't know. That's the only correlation I've seen. I mean, you didn't have it before, Kaj, right? Before we got here.
Not like this, no.
I'm no doctor, but
Perhaps after this I'll spend some time outside the woods for a little, see if it affects it.
yeah, I could trying to get out too. Getting restless.
Aye, I suppose you folk are on your way, eh? If you're
I get
looking to leave the forest, you're almost there.
Thank the Lord.
That's
How
good.
much longer?
What's that, girl?
How much longer?
I should be able to make it within the day if you walk just due south.
Sounds good to me.
Do you know if there's another... a meadow?
A meadow?
Hmm?
Well,
A meadow nearby?
sorry, what?
A meadow nearby?
Uh, I don't believe so. It's mostly rocky to the south and eventually a bit of farmland. Oh, I wouldn't call it a meadow particularly.
Oh. Okay.
I'm all ready to go when you guys are.
Second that.
Come on, Ruva.
Hmm? Oh, yeah.
You'll be okay here, big old man.
Hey, I'm going to stoke the fire a bit and warm my old bones in the cold air of morning before I set out again.
Aye. Alright, sounds good. Well, best of luck to you.
Don't forget your tents, lads and lasses.
Oh, don't worry. They're taken care of.
Alrighty.
Thank you for the
And-
food, Elliot. Stay safe out here.
Hey, you as well. Safe journeys.
Thank you for your hospitality, sir. The lady protect you.
You as well. And he sort of nods to you as you make your way.
Wow. I ought to make them brains again. They're pretty good.
Alright, so you continue your path to the south, leaving the clearing and weaving your way back through the evergreen trees. And as you travel, eventually, about at midday, you notice that the trees begin to get a little bit less dense. This map's not loading for us on the chat end of things, but I don't imagine you'll spend a significant amount of time on it, so I'm not going to refresh.
I am walking right through it.
Yeah, Gotcha's pace is kind of higher. I'm excited to get out of the woods.
The party stops to investigate a tree for 17 hours.
Yeah.
It's got to be a clue.
Have you guys seen that tree?
It looks suspicious.
So you notice as it passes by midday into the early afternoon that not only do the trees grow a little bit less dense, but in their place are sort of rockier formations, sort of jutting out from the forest floor. And the day itself is relatively peaceful. And at about perhaps maybe 4 in the afternoon, you can see that through a gap in the trees off in the distance to the south, there appears to be sort of a break in the tree line out ahead of you. Just give me a sec to copy you all. All right. So as you approach that break in the tree line, you can see that you stand sort of elevated along this sort of rockier terrain, and spreading down and sort of throughout is a far more sort of grassy area with farm fields off in the distance past the rocks, and then even further past them you can see the ocean along the coast if you look off to the east a little bit. And sort of nestled along the coastline, you can see a bunch of little houses that make up your destination, Silken Shore. So the area here is a little bit rockier as you come to the edge of sort of this elevated rock formation here. But Gale tumbles down.
How tall is it?
Where you're standing to down here, sort of like the lowest section over here, is about maybe 20 feet or so.
This is about like 10 feet, probably.
Yeah, it's about 10 feet per drop.
Slide down. Trip.
You
Break a
managed.
fucking knee.
You managed to sort of scrabble down this sort of rockier edge here, and there's sort of a bit of a slope to some of it. Not all of it is just a harsh drop. As you make your way down to the lower area, which then extends out into the sort of rockier terrain with still some sparse trees, though not nearly as dense as the forest. You notice that the trees around you are decidedly deciduous rather than evergreen, as you have left the deep green domain.
Finally.
I never thought I'd be happy to get out of the woods, but
The air feels better.
I really don't like forests.
I thought it was pretty fun.
Well, of course you did.
That was a good time.
Yeah, fair.
All good.
So you spend about another hour or so traveling through this sort of rockier terrain. It's a bit slower going, as you have to occasionally scrabble down more rocky cliff's edges. But none of them are incredibly steep as to be a very lethal fall. And you can kind of, by walking a little bit off to the east, a little bit off to the west, you can find areas where they sort of lower themselves and turn into slopes rather than cliffs, which allows you to make your way to the lower elevation, approaching the farmland that you saw in the distance.
Is this a sign?
It is. So as you travel through the rockier area and arrive at sort of the far lower elevation, making your way towards the farmland, you can see that farmers' fields now stretch off to the south in very sort of wide areas, covering a lot of the terrain ahead of you. If you turn around and look back, you can sort of look up this sort of rocky, sort of a shield sort of type of terrain with these big rock formations along the side of this elevated area. And you can see up at the top of them, you can see some of the evergreen trees all the way up where you made your way from, where the deep green domain starts. But as you continue, you see that there's a bit of a dirt path ahead of you. And at the start of this dirt path is a little sign with a small weather vane on top of it that spins gently in the breeze. And so one side of the sign points north and just says Deep Green Domain. And then there is another sign that points due south that reads Silken Shore. And it points in the direction that this little path travels.
Well, looks like we're almost there.
It's about time.
And finally begin our journey.
Should we make a plan of attack?
Attack what?
What
Who are
if
we
we attack
attacking?
me?
River, are you okay?
Not real attack. I meant a plan of action.
Why didn't you say that?
You mean as far as looking for the lyre?
Yeah.
Oh, we just need to go around and ask.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to say until we see what we're dealing with there, yeah.
First, we need to
Mm.
find out about the group. Where do they went last?
That's what I was talking about.
Well, then there's the game plan. Are you
Oh,
alright?
I'm
What's
not quite
wrong?
picking up what you're putting down.
Do you have any ideas, Riva? Any specific ones?
I was thinking a tavern, maybe.
Yeah.
We're gonna let Tibbs drink even more.
I'm not
Well,
old enough.
I didn't even drink. I had one water skin of wine,
Mm-hmm.
but you drank some too.
Yeah.
But it was good though, right? Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah,
Guess
I'm
we
probably
should
gonna have to get
just-
some more.
I think we should just keep going. Never mind. Forget it.
I was already on my way, but yeah.
So as you continue now you make your way along this um, rather simple dirt road through farmers' fields. On either side, you can see various crops growing. Some of them have begun to flourish. Some of them haven't quite yet, but occasional scarecrow out in the fields. And occasionally you walk by a field that has a farmer out off in the distance, tilling their field, and they give you a small little wave as you walk by.
Getting the wave back every time.
Wow, there's a lot of crops.
He's looking pretty good.
This must be a big town.
Anything's better than that forest.
I mean, that forest was pretty big though.
I haven't heard any more whispers. I'm feeling good about that.
I hope so. I mean, don't have to like poke into your head.
Are they contagious?
I guess we'll see after we sleep again.
Are you asking if thoughts are contagious?
Is Gale in? Gale?
Gil, you hop the sort of maybe belly button high fence into the farmer's field. The corn's quite tall, so you can't actually really see much beyond it. You're not aware if there is a farmer in this field or not. But there are just many, many stalks of relatively ripe corn.
This is great.
Why are you in the corn?
What better place to be than with the vegetables?
I mean,
I've always
you
thought
are
of corn as a
farmer.
fruit.
Corn is a vegetable.
You even eat corn, Tibbs?
I eat anything.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's true.
I could probably beat you in a corn eating race too.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, you're no fun.
I bet you I'd beat you.
Oh, you want to put some money on it?
Alright.
Wait, let's get a crowd first. We can get some money off this.
Maybe we
We should
should
probably buy some
steal the
corn first.
Yeah, let's not take the corn from the field.
I mean, that could be feed corn for all we know.
I
It's not.
respect the handiwork that went into it.
All right. So as you pass by the cornfield, you also then pass by some fields that don't have quite as tall crops, and can see that you grow nearer to the ocean, off to the east. And the coastline kind of stretches all along. But as you travel down this dirt path, your elevation begins to decrease a little bit. You have a sort of a gentle slope downwards. And eventually, as you pass by these farmers' fields, it's around 6 p.m. as you eventually arrive at another sort of rockier face that descends right down into a cluster of buildings as you stand at the northern entrance to Silken Shore.
Ah, finally. Civilization.
The dirt
People.
path curves downwards down a little bit of a slope as these houses are sort of nestled up against a rock formation here. You can see the occasional travelers and commoners, people who live here, bustling about, performing their work, carrying bundles of sticks and wheelbarrows full of all manner of things. But as you descend the little slope here, you see a large covered wagon with a man standing out front of it. He has sort of very large earrings and sort of a little bit eccentric
Holy
vestments.
big head.
Fib's not so
Is it-
loud.
Is it
And,
just me or does
wild hair and facial hair. He stands in front of his covered wagon with all these sort of large barrels surrounding him. On the table in front of him, he has set up sort of a selection of glasses, very kind of thin wine glasses. He sees you approach and says, "Fare thee well, travelers. Is there something I can interest you in? Are you here for Ruccio's tinctures and tonics?"
Not quite, but I'm interested.
I like that. I
Fine.
like interested.
Are you a potion man?
I suppose you could call it potions. In an inelegant word, but I suppose it applies.
I may have to talk to you later.
Very well.
I'm gonna talk to you now. What you got?
Well, the selection for today, the casks I have opened, is a tincture to make your hair change color if you want a fashionable alternative. Now, that's this one right here, and he points to one. A tincture to help cool you down, resist the effects of heat, and help you stay nice and cool on a hard day's work. That's this one here. He points to the next barrel. And then the last one is a tincture for those who struggle with vision. It helps your eyesight. And that is this one here. Points to the last one. Any of these catch your fancy?
Are how much?
For what? Be more specific.
No.
Well, it will be 5 gold for a dose. And of the second 2, and 4 gold for a dose of the first.
Well, I'm a man that likes to try before I taste, so any free samples?
It's not exactly how it works. I suppose a small sample of the second or third one would be in order, though the first doesn't really work that way.
How full are these cakes?
About half full.
Looks like you have a lot to spare. I mean, what about 1 gold for like a taste?
I suppose it won't last particularly long, though. You would need the full dose to last you the day.
Wait, can River try and help persuade this guy?
You could.
Okay. Well, I mean, I do think it would be easier if we tried it, so we could really make up our minds.
Gil rolling a dice to see where he goes. Okay, that made me laugh. You can make a persuasion roll then, River. He nods. All right. I was just sort of warning you that it won't last you very long, the effects. They will wear off quickly with only a small sample. You would need to buy the full dose to last you the full day, is what I meant.
Oh, I see.
But
And
I can offer a
you
small
elaborate?
sample.
Can you elaborate on the first one? What
Yes.
What exactly does it do?
You imbibe the tincture, you swallow it down, and then in your mind, in the next 10 seconds after you do so, you imagine in your mind what color you want your hair to be, and that will be the color.
It only works for your hair?
Indeed, it is fashionable for the folk who like to attend parties and the sort.
I think I'll have to think about it.
Very well, very well. I shall be in town for a few more days, so if you change your mind, feel free to come back and talk to Ruccio. That's me.
Perfect. Ruccio is your name?
Indeed.
My name is Ruva.
Nice to meet you, Ruva.
It's very nice to meet you. Do you travel a lot?
From time to time, yes. I've spent a little bit in Middlemere from... a little bit ago, I arrived here on a trade ship, but I make my way around. He sort of moves his lapel slightly so that you can see that he's got a badge pinned to it that looks like a golden set of scales.
Oh, merchant? Oh, so has there been a group of people who came through here?
Well, I did only arrive 2 days ago, and in the time that I was here, you're the only group who wandered through.
Okay. That's good to know. We're looking for information on what happened to a different group.
There is a tavern closer to the beach to the east if you wish to ask around. There's lots of folk there usually.
Okay. Thank you so much. And it was very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. You come on back if you decide to make a purchase for Muccio, alright?
Oh, I will have to come back for some advice, actually, later. I
Alright.
procured some potions of my own, and I'm not entirely sure what some of them do.
I see. Alright, I suppose we could have a conversation about potions if that's what you wish.
Perfect. I don't have time now, though, but I look forward to speaking to you in the future.
Very well. I will look forward to your return then.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
You get anything, Ruva?
He said probably go to the tavern.
Okay.
Yeah. It's by the shore.
Yeah, Gail said we're going this way anyway, so.
Oh, that works. Guess the wind knows.
All right. So you make your way sort of to the east of town, which leads you towards the ocean. You can see it at the end of this path here. The path sort of extends down and leads to sort of a beach area. And as you travel, you see more buildings on your left and right. Most of them appear to be sort of just kind of very plain huts and houses. But as you draw nearer to the ocean, the huts and houses turn to storefronts, market stalls, and shops.
Hmm. Nothing seems to have changed.
Hmm?
What?
Hmm? Uh, where's the tavern?
So you can see groupings of buildings here. Off to your left, you see several market stalls set up with all forms of produce, including some shellfish and fish down along the beachfront. Off to your right, you see a humble little building with a thatched roof that has a sign above its door that you'd have to get a little closer to read. And the building off to your right, Kaj, you can see it the best as you kind of make your way towards the beach, is a little bit larger than the others, with sort of a warm glow in the windows from a hearth. And sitting up on top of the roof, right above the door, is a large wooden carving of a crab. There is a sign above the door here as well, though you'd have to go a little closer to read it. Tibbs, as you approach this building, you can see that it reads Silken Shore Smithy.
Mm. I'm gonna go in there.
Very well.
Uh,
Hmm?
what is that place, Gil?
Hmm. I just thought Tib was going.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, okay, I guess I'm a dad now.
Hmm? Yep.
What?
Hmm?
Hmm?
Hmm.
Oh, it's a smithy. Perfect.
Kaj isn't gonna go in. He's gonna wait outside.
Very well. So you make your way into the blacksmith shop and see a man who's sort of bent over the anvil, hard at work. But he pauses for a moment as he hears the door open, turns toward you, says, "Hello there.
Hi.
Hello.
Uh,
Um,
new in town, eh?
Yep.
yeah. Do you make daggers?
Aye, from time to time.
Um,
I have a selection here already made. If you're in the market to buy something,
oh, well, see, I have this. Rova's gonna take out the tail spike.
he sort of squints and kind of examines it. Where'd you find this?
It was in the forest.
In the forest, eh? Well, I've not seen anything like it myself.
But it seems really cool, right? I thought so.
Suppose you could describe it like that. And it is indeed a tad dagger-like.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty. My name's Ruva, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Ruva. I'm Colm.
Cole?
Colm McGowan.
That's so cool. I don't think I've ever met someone named Cole.
Well, pleasure to make your acquaintance. I run a smithy in Silicon Shore, mostly making horseshoes and repairing metal parts from ships and such, but I do have a selection of weapons for travelers who make their way through town.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering if you could make it a dagger.
He pauses for a moment in the middle of your conversation. Oi, lad there, give her a puff. Need to heat up the forage anyway.
All right.
So he has this set of massive billows here that you can just sort of prop up against the edge of the forge to give it a bit of a puff, and you see the embers of the forge begin to glow brightly hot as you do so.
That's amazing.
I see. So you want a custom dagger made? You said.
Oh, yes, please.
Do you mind? He kind of holds out his hand to examine the.
Yep, Ruva drops in his head.
You see him kind of turn it over. He kind of wraps one knuckle against it. He tries to sort of bend it slightly. It doesn't really have much give to it. Let me see. The properties of this, they're a tad finicky. I'm afraid with my humble workshop I'm not able to fashion anything from it, but actually I can give you the name of someone who can.
Oh. That would be great.
Off to the west is the city, Glory Bell. You've probably heard of it, of course. Well, my brother runs the smithy there. They've far better facilities than I have here.
Okay.
I'd be willing to bet that they could fashion this into a dagger for you.
Well, that's very good to know. Thank you.
Here. In fact, you folks seem nice. He kind of makes his way over to one of the tables here and begins to open and shut a bunch of drawers looking for something. He pulls out a piece of parchment, a quill, and an ink pot. I'll write you something. And he begins to kind of scribble away on the parchment. And then he rolls the parchment up and hands it to you and says, give this to the blacksmith there. He'll give you a bit of a discount. You're a friend to Colm.
Oh, thank you. And, since it's your brother,
Hey, Grady.
Grady. Okay, we will tell him that you say hello.
Indeed.
Is there anything else that you want to tell him?
Aye, just when he's back in town, we'll have an ale together.
Okay. I'd be happy to tell him. Thank you so much, Colm.
Happy to help.
Well, that's all I needed. I'm not sure about the others.
All right.
Oh, can I have it back? I forgot.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just figured he handed it back to you with the
Okay.
parchment.
I wanted to make sure.
Good to keep track of that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, he wouldn't just try to steal your thing. Gail, the sword on the table is rather unremarkable compared to yours. It is just your bog standard longsword. Competent craftsmanship, but nothing particularly special. He's got a few more weapons. He's got a little morning star sitting spiky along the side of the table, as well as several daggers that just kind of lie placed on the right side. All right. Which part of the morning star?
The pointy part.
All right. You draw a little bit of blood on your tip of your finger as you poke it. It is quite sharp.
Ah,
Careful there, lad. They're all sharpened and ready to go, so don't hurt yourself.
right. Oh, hey, can you look at something for me?
Of course.
Can you tell me about this sword? I'll pull it out.
He begins to sort of examine it. The craftsmanship here is odd, to say the least. I've not seen a smithy forge anything like this in my lifetime. Where did you find this?
Ruins.
Ruins, eh?
Mhm.
Well, I can tell you, it appears quite old, from what I can tell. And, well, at first glance I thought it was almost rough and shoddy craftsmanship, but upon further glance it's incredibly sharp. Not seen a whetstone sharper on a blade to a point like this. I'd hold on to this sword if I were you, lad.
Right.
Unless
Yeah,
you're
try to
looking to get rid of it.
No, I'm all right.
Very well.
Thank you so much, Cole.
Happy to help.
Have a wonderful day.
He gives you sort of a small wave and then begins to return to his work at the anvil. As you make your way back out into the Silken Shore markets.
You guys get anything nice?
The name of his brother in Glory Bell.
Oh, okay.
Apparently he can make a dagger from the tail spike. Potentially. His name is Grady.
Brady. Okay.
So as you make your way to this larger building, off kind of towards the waters, you see a sign above the door of this one as well. I believe kind of Tibber and Gale were the first to arrive at it. And the sign above the door says Cooper's Crab Shack.
You want to make the corn contest a crab contest?
Well, there's corn across the street.
Is that a no, Tibbers?
A lot harder to eat crab.
Hmm?
It's a lot harder to eat, like, good amount of crab.
Hmm.
All right, chicken.
Yeah, that did sound like he was backing out.
Yeah, believe what you want.
I guess that means you win both by default, Gil. Good job.
Thank you.
I always believed you had it in you.
All right. So I believe Tibbs was the first to enter. Would you say that's correct, you guys?
Yep.
Alrighty. So Tibber, you pull open the door, the wooden door to this establishment here, and take a couple steps inside. And immediately, as soon as you step inside, you are smashed into by a woman who is sent flying into you.
Oh, sorry.
She was sort of facing away from you and was sort of pushed back into you. And the two of you sort of collapse to the ground. She falls over and begins to stand back up again.
I'll help her. Are you okay?
Sorry about that. That was a good one, Ned. And you
Ah.
can see that she's just sort of wiping blood away from her nose.
Oh, damn. Got you real good, didn't I?
I think that was more the punch from Ned, but yeah, all that armor probably leave a bruise. So the
Someone
woman
punched you?
is also half orc in origin, Tibber.
Okay.
And you can see that she's got a couple bruises on her arms and knuckles, and a currently bleeding nose. But in very stark contrast to that, she is wearing a very fine-looking dress. And standing back
Sorry,
up
go
again and sort of brushing herself off, you can see who pushed her. And it was a rather sort of portly-looking man who is currently just swigging from a flagon of ale. And once he kind of stops and lowers the flagon, he wipes his mouth slightly and, all right, at 12. Ready to keep going? As he kind of wobbles to and fro on his feet, clearly incredibly drunk. And she just kind of stretches her neck slightly, and you hear it kind of crack. Yeah, all right, let's go again. And she immediately dives back in and starts swinging at him as the two are in a bar fight.
Whoa.
How exciting.
Holy shit.
College is gonna like nudge Tibbs a little bit, like, huh?
They allowed
Yeah.
sparring in here?
Who's winning?
There isn't really any clear winner. The orcish woman is shorter and a lot smaller than the much larger man, but the much larger man, while he has less bruises and doesn't have sort of a bloody nose or anything like that, he's got a bit of a split lip, but he's still sort of wobbling just from the alcohol. So despite him appearing to be winning, he is also kind of wobbling around.
You two gonna be good.
Yeah, one of these days I'll beat him.
Fair enough.
So they are training.
Kind of a weird place to do that, but
Right, sorry. Ned, can we move over? Let these people pass. All right. Go on through, folks. As he kind of stumbles backwards. And she takes the opportunity as he stumbles backwards to just land a punch right on his nose.
oh,
Thank you.
Not bad
And
at
also,
all.
good luck.
nice shot.
She just kind of gives you a little thumbs up without looking at you.
I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah, college is kind of interested too. Let's watch the fight.
So I'll describe the rest of the environment as well. So the atmosphere here is just kind of very, very jovial, even in the midst of this fight here. The two participants of the fight are also in good spirits, and they sort of back and forth compliment each other on good dodges and good swings. Seated at some of the tables around throughout this sort of restaurant, I suppose, is a dragonborn who is just kind of quietly eating some sort of soup and just sort of watching the fight. A barmaid kind of scurries around delivering drinks and food to people. And at a far table, you can see three men talking amongst themselves and eating a rather substantial dinner. The men have sort of very elaborate-looking hats with large feathers in it. They do strike you as perhaps seafaring types. Behind the counter, or the bar at the front, is a kind of heavy-set man with eccentric facial hair and a rather tall chef's hat, which he has a bandana tied underneath. He was busy at the kitchen. He's kind of chopping the legs off some crabs, but he turns towards you as you make your way up to the counter, Ruva, and says, "Welcome to Cooper's Crab Shack. I would be Cooper, of course. Is there something that I can help you with? You want dinner, drinks, both?
Oh, hello, Cooper. I'm more interested in information.
All right. What exactly are you looking for?
Well, we heard that potentially a group made their way here. They were academic types. I was wondering if you had seen them.
Academic types. Let me think. Let me think. About how long ago was it?
Maybe a month or so? Maybe a little longer.
Over a month ago? Yes, actually. Learned types, scholarly types.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes, I remember. They had a meal. They had a meal here. Yeah, well over a month ago.
Okay. Do you remember anything about them?
There was a decent number of them. They had a bunch of sort of old men carrying heavy books. Not my usual customers.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a few younger ones. I assumed maybe apprentices or something like of the like. They had sort of robes and books and little hats. They ordered a big meal, stayed a little while upstairs. We do have rooms available as well, if you're interested.
Oh, that's good to know.
And then they were on their way. I didn't talk much to them. I'm usually busy in the kitchen.
Oh, do you know if anyone else did? Spoke to them, I mean.
Well, you could talk to Ned or Etoile. They usually find their way into everyone's business. He just kind of points past you to the two who are brawling in the corner.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
But I'm a little confused. You're not the first group to come looking for scholarly types.
We're not?
No, not too long after they were in town, and then I suppose they left. There was another group that came asking around for them.
Oh, I see. Same size or?
Don't particularly remember. There was maybe 5, 6 of them, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They asked
So-
around, but I didn't have much to tell them. I didn't really know where the scholarly types went.
That makes sense. They were also scholars?
Didn't look it to me. Weren't wearing robes and didn't have any books on them.
Oh,
Sort of muscly, leather-bound types wearing sort of leather armor, such. You know, the travel types.
oh, okay.
A little bit like yourselves.
Oh, so no unifying symbols or any distinct markings that would stand out?
Some of them had tattoos, but nothing in particular, no.
Oh, okay.
Again, I just talked to them for a moment, so didn't really get to know any of them.
Yeah, I'm sure if anything was very distinctive, you would have been able to remember.
I suppose so.
Did they also talk to Ned and Twill, you said?
Maybe they talked to Ned, but Ned talks to everyone when he's drunk. You'd have to ask him. I'm usually busy in the kitchen.
Okay.
Speaking
Well-
of kitchen, the two of you hungry?
Uh, yes, actually. Um,
All right.
what kind of food do you have?
Well, as the name of the restaurant might imply, we have quite a bit of seafood. We've got crab cakes, we've got crab boats. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's a specialty of mine. It's a crab meat filling inside of a noodle wrapper and shaped into a little dumpling
Oh.
like a boat.
Well, if it's a specialty of yours, I have to try it.
Of course, we also have your standard crab legs. If that's your preferred option, you can crack into them yourself. We've got crab stuffed mushrooms. We've got seafood bisque. We've got crab and sweet potato chowder, also a favorite. But we've also got a selection of drinks as well. We've got your Dwarven Amber Ale. We've also got a saltwater rum, if you're more of a seafaring type.
Well, I'm not a seafarer, unfortunately.
Of course. Many of the people we get through here are, so we tend to cater to them, but we've got a selection.
I definitely want to try your specialty.
The crab boats.
Yes, please. And I don't know about my friends. They were talking about being hungry.
I'd take some crab cakes if you don't mind.
All right, an order of crab cakes, an order of crab boats.
Thank you.
Robo's gonna look at the other two. Do you guys want something to eat?
Come on, Chunky!
Who's watching the fight?
So over in the corner where the fight is happening, the two here are now kind of just sort of clumsily stumbling around. The orcish woman just clearly very exhausted. She's got a bleeding nose and a bunch of bruises, and is breathing heavily. And the man just clearly incredibly drunk. In between some of her swings, he'll just take more sips from his ale. So now they're just sort of clumsily stumbling around, and they're not really landing any blows on each other. So eventually, the larger man just says, "All right, well, I think that's it for today. Ugh, not really getting anywhere, are we?" And she says, "Yeah, all right. I suppose we can call it a draw for today." And she's just kind of clutching her ribs.
You need help?
I'm all right. Do this all the time. She just sort of breathing heavily begins to kind of limp her way over towards the bar. Cooper!
And is he
Rather-
just like, is he standing or did he fall or what's going on?
He just kind of slumps against the wall here and just kind of keeps swigging with his eyes kind of only half open. Another good fight. Cooper, another ale. And he quickly pours her one.
Robo's gonna look over at her and be like, very good form. I'm pretty sure you were continuing to improve.
Thanks. I do try and get better.
Well, enough practice, and I'm sure you'll achieve your goal.
Thank you for the kind words.
I'm Robo, by the way.
My name is Atwell. Atwell
Atwell.
Marizan.
Well, nice to meet you as well.
You don't mind me asking, what do you do around here besides fight drunken people?
Well, it's sort of complicated, I guess. Learning how to be a pirate.
Oh,
Ooh.
not necessarily dressed like one.
She just kind of looks down. Yeah, but it's all I got, so just kind of has to do.
All you have is a fancy dress?
Yeah, got a couple of them.
Do pirates usually wear um, stained clothing and stuff? Because I could probably trade with you. I have extra clothing.
Mm, I don't know about stained, but I imagine things get dirty on the high seas.
Are
Well,
you from around here?
Actually, Tibbs, you can make a insight check on her if you want to kind of suss out what she's all about.
Sure. Nope.
Uh, around here, not exactly. I'm from Eudora originally, which is a little bit up to the north.
Oh, the big city.
the
Yeah,
capital.
capital.
That would explain the dress. Why are you so far down here? I mean, I don't see many of my kind down here. I don't even see many of my kind anywhere.
She sort of drops her voice a little bit. Well, gotta promise not to tell anyone.
I'm not a talker.
All right, good. Well, sort of ran away from home.
Oh,
To become a pirate?
Yeah. She looks. Her eyes kind of light up as she says that.
Riva's eyes also light up. That's so amazing. Then you definitely have to change your clothes. They're going to spot you.
Yeah, I suppose I've been looking around, but nothing really suited the life on the high seas, really.
Well, I have a whole selection. I kind of um collect some clothing. It's a bit of a hobby of mine. Uh, if later perhaps you can look through and see if you uh would like any. I would love to trade you for one of your dresses.
She looks decently excited and she nods along and says, yeah, actually.
Oh, perfect.
Sounds like a good day.
what about the pirate life draws you to it? I mean, city girl at a party or pirate doesn't really normally happen, you know?
Oh, well, city life is just so stuffy, you know? It's not exciting. There's no freedom. What's more free than being a
Freedom?
pirate?
Freedom is the most important thing. You should never feel like you're in a cage.
She just kind of points at Ruva. She's looking at you, Tibber. See, she gets it.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm from a city myself. I didn't ever really feel stuffy.
Well, you must have had more freedom.
I guess so. I mean, didn't really have a lot of free time, but
Maybe while
Yeah.
we're in town, you can train with our friend Tibbs here. He's a pretty tough guy himself. I think I was just gonna head off towards the table where Gil's at.
I could probably. Well, um, what kind of fighting do you do? Just hand to hand?
She just sort of like tilts her head to the side. Bar fighting, like pirates do, right?
Yeah, but when you're out on the sea, I mean, sometimes like harpies can attack or something, and then sometimes it's better to have some sort of weapon.
you ought to be trained as a swordsman.
I suppose I haven't really been out on the seas yet. Looks slightly insecure as she says that.
I mean, you got to
Well,
start somewhere, but
Yeah,
I
but
would.
it's mostly fishermen around here. Not exactly a pirate haven.
I mean, you could try to go out with them, get your sea legs, then
or
try
you
to
can become
become
a
a
land
pirate.
pirate.
Well,
I'm sure that's
I
something.
think that's called a bandit.
yeah, I think that's just called a bandit.
Oh, I think I prefer the name land pirate. Sounds more fancy.
I tried to convince some of the fishermen down at the docks to let me go with them, but they just say I'm a nuisance. That they don't want to, fly the skull and crossbones, and they don't want to, you know, raid ships and such.
Well, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah, the fisherman types. Not exactly focused on fun, are they?
What if you took a boat out and then either pretended to be a fisherman and waited to get raided by pirates and then joined them?
Well, that would require a boat.
Ah, that's true.
Well,
Do you
don't
not have
exactly.
any money?
Not particularly. Most of my money is going towards staying here.
Come from a wealthy family. People send you money?
She ran away. Didn't you listen?
I did
Yeah, but
come from a wealthy family, but yeah, they're not exactly offering up their coin purses to me anymore.
fair enough. I mean, kind of the same position, but not really looking to be a pirate.
Way I see it is, as long as I can spend enough time here, then eventually piratey types will come into port. It's a port town. You've got to pass through, right?
Oh, speaking of piratey types, I heard a month or two ago, like a little while ago, a group of um piratey types came in and potentially talked to you.
Piratey types. Now I would have remembered that.
Well, maybe they were more like land pirates then. Muscly.
Like bandits.
Oh, yeah, bandits.
Um, how long ago did you say again?
Um, it was a while ago. It was after the scholars came through.
The scholars. Yeah, I remember the scholars. Yeah, all book learning types. I didn't have too much in common, but I talked to them a little bit.
Oh, you did? We're supposed to be looking for them. Do you know where they went?
Hmm. Uh, they didn't. They didn't talk much about that. They talked a lot about, the importance of knowledge and all that, and well, tuned out a little bit, to be honest.
Hmm.
Um, so I can't really say where they went. Let me think a moment. They stayed here. I think a few days. I talked to them once or twice and kind of, well, to be honest, grew a little bit bored of their talk. And then they up and left. I saw them leaving the tavern one day. Though I didn't exactly follow them, so I don't really know where they went.
Yeah.
She just kind of continues to scratch her head a little bit.
Oh, yeah. How long ago was this? We're not quite sure about the timeline.
It had to be at least a month ago.
Okay. Well, if you have a good memory for remembering all of that, if it was a month ago.
Well, I don't exactly have a ton going on in my life right now, so I mostly remember folk who come into the tavern. On the hunt for pirate types and all that.
That's a very good skill.
Actually, this reminds me of something. A little bit after I thought they left, I saw one of the scholarly types still in town. I thought they'd all left, but I recognized her from the group.
Oh.
It was a little, rather short, catchy girl.
Hmm.
I saw her wandering about in town. I didn't really say anything to her, but I thought it was a bit odd because I thought they'd all left.
That is strange. And was this before or after the others came through, if you can remember?
Now that I can't remember, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's okay. Well, you remembered a lot, so thank you. Do you think, Ned? Is his name Ned? Do you think Ned would remember anything?
I remember him talking to the scholarly types too. He likes to chat a lot when he's drunk. But I don't think you'll find his memory better than mine. He's often several drinks in when he's talking to folks, so things tend to slip his memory.
I can understand that. Where are you staying?
Just
Are you
upstairs.
Okay, because I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we still have to do that trade later.
Of course,
I
yeah.
just wanted to know where to find it.
This place doubles as an inn, so you can rent rooms if you want.
Perfect. Mr. Cooper,
Aye?
how much do I owe you for the boats?
That would be 4 gold for both your meals total.
Okay.
You can split it if you wish, or I can put it together.
I'll just pay it. Ruth is just gonna pay it.
As you were talking, he did bring you your meals. I just didn't want to interrupt.
Yep.
Thank you kindly. You folk staying in town?
I'm not sure yet.
Well, if you are, we got rooms upstairs, so come and see me. Give you a key.
Okay, thank you. And this is delicious, by the way.
Glad to hear that. Always appreciate the compliment on my cooking. And he turns and begins to get back to work. Over in the far side of the room, Gail, you walk up to the significantly drunk Ned, who just, his eyes are kind of like half closed, and he just kind of keeps taking swigs from his ale occasionally, though he just mostly spills a lot of it down his front. He kind of opens one of his eyes and looks at you as you walk up. Hey, can I help you?
Yeah. Have you seen smart people?
Smart people.
People getting down that are new.
In a tavern.
Sure.
Not often you get smart folk in a tavern. Mostly drunkards.
Do you ever leave the tavern?
From time to time. Work down at the docks.
Alright, well, have you ever seen them?
He sort of lets out a very loud belch and then kind of opens both of his eyes to focus a little bit more on you. He shakes his head slightly to try to clear his head. Scholarly types, book learners. I believe I recall something like that. Had to be well over a month ago, though. Why are you looking for them?
I was trying to meet up with them. Trying to find something. We kinda need their assistance.
I see. Well, I believe they're gone. Saw them in town a few days. About well over a month ago. And then they weren't there anymore. Assume they left. Not sure where they went, though.
Could you guess the direction?
Afraid not. Didn't see him travel. Could have went anywhere.
Have you ever heard anything about the liar?
Liars, plenty of liars in taverns. All sorts
No,
of
no,
folk
no,
telling
no,
tales.
no, no. The kind that plays the notes, the musical kind.
Well, I'm no bard myself. Can't say I have much expertise with music. Looking for a bard too.
Hmm. Nope, have a good beer.
He just kind of waves his glass at you as some sort of goodbye, and then just begins to swig from it again.
Well, I'm not gonna rain on your parade, but good luck on your quest to become a pirate.
Yeah, good luck on I don't know, finding the bookish types. I'll be around here if you want to talk to me again.
Yeah, and you ever need protection or something, definitely should help our own kind, you know.
His name is Tibor, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Tibber.
Yeah, you too. Tend to like to introduce myself, but
Well, you had done it, and it was kind of weird.
right. Well, here's a bit of good faith. He'll put down however much the drink was for her
Just a gold.
on the table. All right, yeah, we'll put down a gold. Uh, we'll probably definitely come back eventually.
All right. Well, I look forward to talking to you a lot again. Thanks for the drink.
I wave and walk out.
I'll talk to you later, okay?
Yeah. See you soon.
Rue was gonna call over to them. Come on, guys.
Touching the stuff like his last crab cake in his face. Thanks for the
Such a
food,
nice
Cooper. It
place.
was good. It was really good.
And he just gives you a small little salute.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper.
As you make your way out of the tavern and back to the markets.
So, what do we know, guys?
Well, about a month ago, the scholars came through, and then there were like scary guys who came through afterwards looking for them. And then, either before or after the scary guys came, there was another scholar here. One from the first group. And I'm not sure what to make of that. We have no
Strange.
idea where they went, but we do know it was a month ago, so we're only, a month behind on the trail. Not great, but
Could be worse.
yeah, I suppose so.
Guess we just kind of go and see what we can find then.
Is there a sign over here on this? This is a shop.
No, it just appears to be a house.
Is that a bird on top?
Yeah, what's on that roof?
Yeah, as you make your way over towards this house here, you see a green-looking sort of parrot immediately take off and begin to fly away.
Aw.
But you both can make perception checks for me as it does. So both of you notice as it flies away that it is holding something that kind of glints in the sunlight in its beak as it flies away.
Got
Wonder
something there. Did you see that?
Or if it stole some food.
Shiny food.
What are you guys talking about?
I mean, all food looks good.
That bird flew off, had something with it. Tips thinks maybe it's food, but
A bird?
I mean, it could have just been like corn, and the brightness of corn could look shiny, you know?
Wait, it had shiny food in its mouth?
Had something shiny in its mouth. I don't know if it was food.
I wonder how big was the bird?
It's over there in that stall. I'm gonna
Wait,
point at the green stall.
okay. Oh, okay, hold on. I want to go see if it's Harvey.
Harvey. You know Harvey Tibbs?
Nope.
So you make your way down onto the beach. The sand is incredibly soft, and you kind of sink slightly into it as you walk. And you see these. There's just footprints everywhere. They lead a little bit further down the beach. This is a very large beach. I'll describe in a sec for you, Gail, what's further down that direction. But Ruva, there's all sorts of stalls here. The one that you walk up to has sort of a green roof to it, and an elven woman behind it. She appears to be selling some kind of thin little sardines, as well as some lobster as well. And she thinks you're walking up to her, and says, "Can I help you? Looking to buy some lobster? Sardines?"
Oh, Ruva starts speaking Elvish. Hi,
Hi,
I was wondering what that bird is.
bird. She just kind of looks around, but the bird is perched on top of her stall. She's not able to see it. What bird are you talking about?
Oh, there's a bird on top of your stall.
And you see her sort of lean forward a little bit to kind of try to follow where you're looking. So there is.
Is it yours?
She just kind of shakes her head back and forth. No.
Okay. It caught my eye, so. Oh, it's going now.
While it's flying by, can I try and cast animal friendship on it?
Sure. Alrighty. It will fail the save.
Yay. Animal friend.
And
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
as it sort of attempts to fly away from Ruva, you cast that, and it kind of turns towards you, and instead of flying away from the group, it just kind of circles high up in the air above the two of you.
Can I call it down to me to like land on my hand?
Sure.
Why is this bird acting weird?
Whoa.
He's our friend now. Don't hurt him, please.
He's
You,
our friend?
you made
For
a
now.
friend? What's his name?
I'm not talking with him.
Oh.
And so you sort of make a friendly gesture and kind of hold out your hand for the bird to land on it, and it eventually, after circling a little bit more, finds a spot and just lands on your arm that's outstretched. And as it lands, you can see that this sort of bright green and yellow parrot is clutching a key in its beak.
And kind of like pat the bird on the head and then take the keys.
It kind of resists a little bit as you try to grab it. You kind of feel it bite down a little harder on the key, and then it kind of considers it, and then sees the little morsel of food that you're using with the spell, and instead releases the key and grabs the food.
Then I'm just gonna let him go.
It kind of sits on your arm for a little bit longer, just chewing the food, and then eventually takes off and just kind of circles once more.
What a naughty bird.
I'm gonna hand the key to Tibbs. Any idea what that is?
No, but
Something
oh god, he's
Oh.
fucking massive.
I did not make him do that.
I could go check out that house that he was on.
Oh, you're just gonna walk in? That didn't go so smoothly last time when he's not looking at Gale off in the distance.
Well,
but I'm down to try. I can
I
keep a
could do it
lookout, I guess.
alone. Yeah, definitely don't want to do it as a group. We kind of stand out. He'll walk over like nonchalantly. Definitely not suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
Is this a house? You said it's a house, right?
Yeah, just sort of a rather humble-sized hut.
Is the door closed?
Yep.
Or I'll knock on it.
You knock on the door, and then after a small pause, you hear feet shuffling from within, and just sort of a middle-aged man opens the door and says, "Something you need, a friend?"
Sorry. I thought this was a stall or a shop. Kind of surrounded. While he's saying that, can he look around the place, see if there's any like closed things like chests or?
There's just sort of some simple furniture. You can see some dressers and drawers and a table. At the table, you can see a woman seated and two young kids. There's a spread of food across the table. You appear to
Oh,
have
no.
interrupted dinner.
Interrupted them.
Yeah. Sorry. My fault.
Afraid it's not a shop, just a house, friend.
Yeah. I'll let you get back to it.
All right. Well, fair travels.
Right. And kind of like waving. Well, now I feel like a dickhead.
What happened?
Uh, family dinner.
Guess the key's not for there then.
Uh, no.
Well, I guess we just hold on to it until figured out what it's for.
Yeah, I'll keep a hold of it. I don't want either the other two to, go starting something.
Maybe we can trick them a little bit if we find the door it goes to. You can just pretend to get it wide open,
I like a prank.
Gale will be jealous.
Definitely worth it then.
Ruba wants to talk or continue to talk to this lady.
Okay. Just let me describe what's further down the beach for a sec.
Oh, yeah.
So further down the beach, off kind of towards the water, which just gently laps against the shore, you can see actually a couple more stalls. These ones appear to have sort of fruit set up around them, as well as just some people who kind of walk down the beach. So we can go over there in a second, but Ruva, the woman just kind of shrugging says, "No idea what that was all about."
This is kind of cool, though. I have a couple questions. Were
Yes.
you here a month ago?
Suppose I have a moment.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I sell mostly around here. So
Okay.
yeah, I was here around a month ago.
I'm looking for a group of scholars that came through here around a month ago, and I was wondering which direction they went when they left.
Scholars.
Lots of books, wearing robes.
Yes, suppose I remember folk like that. I think they came asking around some of the shops. They didn't really stop by my shop, but they were asking about just rations, I believe. I did see them go into the crab shack across the way.
Oh, okay. Do you know if you saw where they went when they left town? If it was back down the North Road or somewhere, or back down the West Road or somewhere south?
Hmm. Um. Well, I saw them wander around a few times. Not really sure when they left, though. I'm mostly
Oh,
posted up here. I saw them head to the south of town once or twice.
okay. Do you remember Catchy?
Um. Yeah, I think there was one of them amongst them.
Uh,
Female, little short,
yeah.
big
Do you
glasses.
know big glasses?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that I didn't know. That's good information. Thank you. Um, uh, do you know how long she stayed here? I think she may have stayed longer than the group.
Hmm. Um. That I that I don't know. I've been busy around the shop lately.
Okay. Well, you've been a great help, so thank you so much. I'm Rufa, by the way.
Nice to meet you. I'm Riona.
Thank you so much, Fiona. And then Ruva will say in common, I hope you have a wonderful day.
Yeah, you
And
as well. Stop by if you want to purchase anything else.
oh, I will.
We'll be closing soon, but we'll be back up open again in the morning.
Ruva will just try and join back up with the group.
All right. So the rest of you want to make your way a little bit more down towards the water on the beach. Is that correct?
Yep.
Very well. All right. So a little bit down the beach towards the water. Like I said, you can see a few more stalls. You also see a woman who is sort of seated on a bit of a blanket along the beach with a large sun hat next to her, just sort of sunning herself in the glow of evening. So the water here in this area is sort of a pale blue, and you can see shells and stuff through the rather clear-looking water. The sand itself is also quite soft, and has almost no larger stones that hurt your feet.
Sorry, did you say she's? What is she doing?
She's just sort of reclining on a blanket, sunning herself.
Is she? Does she notice I'm here at all?
I mean, she glanced at you when you walked up, but she doesn't really seem to be staring at you or anything like that.
Gotcha. I'm just gonna sit back. You not one for water, gosh.
I don't mind it. I don't really want to get wet though. And I'm looking to look over at Gale, who's like dunking his head. I don't think he minds.
Yeah.
There's a large rock formation out in the waters that you can kind of wade to, Gale. It's sort of a sandbar in this area where it's a little more shallow. And the rock itself is kind of covered in algae and kelp. Slightly slippery as you climb your way up, but eventually you make your way to the top of it. Falling a couple times, maybe splashing in the water a little bit more. But eventually you get your way up on top of it. And can kind of see out into the vast expanse of ocean. From where you're standing, Gail, you can kind of see the coastline just stretch all the way out along to the south, and then all the way out along to the north. To the north, you can see where it gets a little more rocky, and then just kind of see the outline of that tree line that makes up the deep green domain. Off to the south, you can see the coast is a lot less rocky in that direction, and stretches out into what looks like sort of a wide kind of rolling grassland. Way off in the distance, sort of south and ever so slightly east, you can see what appears to be an island. Though it is quite some distance away. Not exactly a swim away. The two market stalls here don't have vegetables or seafood. Instead, they have fruit. The one that you guys are near has several very large melons, some of which are cut up into slices. Some are cut into halves. And then the one all the way across from you has some barrels set up, as well as you can see some strawberries kind of in a little bowl, and some little glasses set up as well.
You know, the name fits.
Silken Shore?
Yeah,
Yeah, it fits really nicely.
I don't think I've ever seen such beautiful water. Or even a beach.
Yeah, if we didn't have a task, I'd want to spend some days out here. This is really nice.
Yeah, I could get used to this. It's about as opposite of a forest as you can get, though.
You like swimming?
Don't know. I don't know if I ever have.
Maybe we'll have time to give it a shot while we're here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not right this minute, though. I kind of want to do the task at hand.
Right, me too. But Gail has a way of leading us there, usually.
Well, I hope it's not in the water.
Does that mean
Gil?
that? Yep.
Is it in the water?
Um, surrounded by water. You want to go to an island?
An,
First,
an island?
Mm-hmm.
What? Why?
wait,
I don't know. I
what
saw an
the-
island.
Usually as good a reason as any.
What?
How late is it? Is it like getting dark out?
About now it'd be kind of past 7. The sun is beginning to kind of set, painting the skies beyond the area here a rather sort of orangey glow.
Up to you guys. I mean, I kind of assume it's on land.
That's what an island is.
I mean, not
Why are we
past
talking
water.
about an island right now?
Why not?
I don't think that the scholars went to an island.
And how do you know that?
Well, all I know is that they went south. I was talking to Fiona, and she said that they went south a couple times.
Convenient. So is the island.
Oh,
Well,
well,
sounds about all I need.
It looks pretty
See?
far off too. We'd probably have to get a ship out there or something, right? A boat.
Where are the docks? Are there docks?
I haven't seen any.
Gotta
Right to
We
the
be.
haven't
south.
even
I mean, there's
checked out most
fishers.
of the town, right?
Right. Yeah, we haven't looked at a lot.
We've seen the tavern and the blacksmith.
From where you're standing, you can see, sort of along the coastline to the south, you can see a series of docks and a rather large-looking building amongst them as well, as
Good
well
enough for me.
as a larger ship too.
Where are we staying for the night?
I
Outside?
don't. Yeah.
You want to stay
Okay.
outside?
What's new?
Camp on the beach?
Are we allowed to?
What do I
Are
mean?
there rules?
There's law?
I mean, it is not.
I don't see any guards.
I don't see any signs.
There are fronts. I'm not sure if.
I don't
Oh.
know if I really care. Not about with your opinion.
They don't
but
sell at night.
Yeah.
That is true.
So from where you're standing right now, you would have to swim to the docks. The beach does not reach all the way down there.
Are we able to like follow the coast?
The coast eventually, where you're standing on sort of this very soft beach, eventually turns back into a cliffside where the waves just sort of break against it. The docks are kind of up and they extend off that. It's not an incredibly high cliff, but it is sort of up about maybe 10 feet.
Let's go
Ruben's
back
gonna,
through town.
yeah, head to the tavern.
All right. Then making your way back off of the beach, you head towards the marketplace.
I have to go talk
Go,
to
right?
Twill, so if you guys want to go ahead, you can.
What do you have to talk to?
Twill?
Oh, okay.
We're gonna
I'll
do
head
a
out with Tibbs
trade.
and see what is what.
Okay, I will meet you guys. Where should we meet up?
Mm,
Here? We can meet up here.
yeah, we can meet at the tavern, right?
Okay.
All right.
I'll be fine by myself. I'm not going anywhere. So Gail, you can go with them if you want. If you want, you can come with me if you like. Okay.
All right. I think that is where we'll have to end the session for today, just because a bit exhausted and feeling a bit sick, so I don't want to go the full 3 hours.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah, that's what I figured, is that it was a decent stopping point, so rather than launching us back into more conversations, I would just call it here. Alrighty. So we'll pick up again with you guys going into the tavern, you guys heading to sort of back towards the western side of town on our next session, in which I will most likely be feeling a lot better and we can do a actual full session. So apologies
Huzzah.
again for the shorter session today, but I wish I'd gotten sick earlier so I could have recovered from it by now. But
No worries. Hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, thank you for being able to do 2 hours, man. Didn't have to.
yeah, I wanted to go because we'd had a couple cancellations the last week, so I wanted to at least do this one. But is there anything that interferes with next week?
Not
Nope.
for me.
All good.
Perfect.
I'm golden.
Woo!
Alrighty.
Nice.
Then the next session of Silversong, which will be back to a full session, will be next week, also on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we'll go the full 3 hours.
What if we went 4 hours? Huh?
We'll see what you guys are doing, maybe.
Okay.
As long as
The
everybody's
negotiator.
still okay with it that day and I am not too busy, then that might
Mhm.
be possible to make up a bit of
Yeah.
the time then. Yeah, so today's session will be a little bit shorter, unfortunately, but yeah, not feeling great, so need to get a little bit more sleep. As for the next stream, I don't think there's anything that interferes with Wednesday, so we'll be back on Wednesday for more Whispers in the Woods, which is also 7 p.m. Eastern. And I believe we're back with Seas of Sand as well on Friday, though the time frame for that one changes a little bit depending on when they get out of work. So it'll probably be maybe 8-ish, 8:30-ish usually for that group. So expect it around that time. I'll try and make an announcement ahead of time if I receive the information ahead of time. Yeah. So tune in for more streams. Does anybody have a poll question? Should we do another poll? I've been wanting to mess around with the polls. Let's do pineapple on pizza.
Who thinks
would,
Rue
I
has
was
been
gonna.
sketchy?
What were your suggestions first?
Okay, I was gonna say, who would win, Kaj v Tibbs?
In what? Just in general?
Just in, yeah, in a fight.
Oh.
I'm allowing additional votes, so you can buy your way into this victory if you want to. Alrighty, there's our poll.
Wow.
That's tough.
Now I'm getting the sympathy votes.
Alrighty. I like how it live updates. That's cool. You can see it just kind of fight back and forth. Yeah, that's fun. All right, I want to do more of those in the future because it gives people a reason for their channel points.
I like it.
I'll try to incorporate those more often if I think of fun ways to do them. If you guys think of interesting polls, feel free to suggest them whenever you have the idea, because I'd be totally down. They take like 2 seconds to do, so wouldn't really interrupt much.
It's pretty fun.
All right. So that was a decent test. I'm going to test them a little bit more in the future on a couple other streams because there's a few other things I want to mess around with them. But I'm a little tired today, so we probably won't do it today. Maybe on Wednesday if we have a little more time and I'm feeling better, then we'll mess around with them slightly more at the end of the session or something like that. But other than that, they're fun to mess around with, so look forward to more of that in the future. We'll have some fun with those. But I'll do my ending spiel now. If you want updates on stream times or want to join our Discord, the link is here. You can also follow my Twitter for schedule updates and the like. I also retweet some fan art as well. So take a peek at that. If you miss a stream and it's not on the Twitch because 15 days have passed by, then you can check out our archive. I upload all the VODs to YouTube. So if you miss it here, go check it out there. If you want to learn more about the world where all of the campaigns I run on this channel take place, it's a living world, then check out our World Anvil link here. It has lore on factions, places, deities. Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me, DJ. I'll get to that too. Factions, deities, all sorts of stuff to look at if you want to read more about the world and learn some stuff. For reference, this campaign takes place in Middlemere. The art was great. I want to show it. Yeah, read up if you want on our World Anvil. It seems that our decided victory has gone to Tibber. I can see you contributed the most channel points to it if you guys want to know.
I didn't contribute any.
Well,
I was letting it
here's
play
You're
out. So
welcome. You are welcome.
I know, right? Jeez.
yeah, I like that. Can you guys see the highest point giver as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can only see the highest.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I just said what I
Oh my
contributed.
god.
I can't see. Yeah, I can't see how much I contributed.
It just
Let's
shows,
see.
I think, who does the most, kind of who like decided the victory is, I think, the idea. All right, so the winner of that poll is Tibber. But here, let me show this art. That we had from last week that I wanted to show this week, just so that we can make sure to see it. That was one part of it. That was the other part of it. And then there was one more, I believe. There we go. All right. So this is art by our very own Chibi. About the little encounter they had with the alchemists when they were attempting to lie that they didn't know each other after they sort of ran into the alchemists at two different points in time. Half the group at one moment and half the group at the other. They attempted to lie and say that they didn't know each other. So this is Ruva. I've never seen that man before in my life. Gail, I believe, saying, "Yeah, me neither." With "If lost, return to Ruva" written across his little tunic there. This art is awesome, so thank you for that. And then the other one that we got was this one here. After Ruva found a little bottle in the alchemist's lair that turned out to be a bottle golem that could walk around on its own. And I've only had bottle golem for one day, but if anything happened to it, I'd kill everyone here and then myself, which is, I believe, a Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference. And then I like the Kaj in the corner.
It's just like, wait, what?
Just peeking.
So,
But yeah, so thank you, Chibi, for the fantastic art.
beautiful, beautiful.
So
I
good.
love it.
It made me laugh quite a bit, so thank you.
That Kaj, though.
Yeah, the Kaj is amazing. Alrighty, so we'll pick up again next week. And until then, I will see you all later.
bye.
Thank you for watching, and thank you for DMing, Jay.
Yeah,
Feel
thank you
better.
for
Feel better
playing,
soon.
everybody. It was a good time. Who else is online? We got 9 people in here. Let's do a raid. I always forget to do raids and then I feel bad. So let's hope that the person I raid is not immediately ending their stream, like seems to always happen to me. Let's raid Faye Yosei. She's another VTuber, I guess, like myself. Though I guess I don't really consider myself that, but I guess I technically meet that. I think she's playing FF14, which is always a good time. So go and say hello. If she's in the middle of like a raid or something, then she might be a little bit busy, but go over there instead of staying here, and I will see you all later. Have a good night, everybody.